Okay, just gonna get a little music going. I should have done that before this, but you live and you learn. All right, let's start trimming. We got lots to do. Nothing like super crazy considering um, we got most of this done. Like we made, it's just the trimming today. I'm gonna have a weird Raku live stream tonight, I think. Um, like way late at like 12 p.m. my time, or 12 a.m. my time. Yeah, right. A little bit early, but we're here. How you doing, Luna? What's new? What's happening? So tell me more about the tattoo. Do you have any other tattoos? Do you have more butterfly tattoos? Are you gonna get a whole sleeve of butterflies? I want to hear more about it. Hmm. Are you gonna get more, or is that just you got your one and you're done? Purple. That's cool. The whole thing's purple, or just the wings are purple? Cool. That's awesome. How long it take to get? I assume pretty small, right? So it's probably a pretty quick one. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Not too shabby. I was considering getting something else done at one point. I was thinking about maybe like some uh yeah, I'm sure you did. I was thinking about getting like a whole like butt thing of flowers. I like things on my back and the back side of me so I don't have to look at my tattoos. But I doubt that I'll do that. Yeah, I was gonna do like Japanese peonies, um, like a whole like back, like from my kneecap, my back of my knee all the way up was kind of what I was thinking. I don't know. They seem pretty busy all the time, so who knows? I'm liking these little cups. I think the next series we're going to be doing is going to be a little bit nicer, but the like um, the wider ones. So yeah, our live stream tonight's going to be weird. So I had a buddy come yesterday. He made all these little beetles out of clay, out of wild clay that he scavenged for. And he has this really big thing about like firing and collecting on certain parts. And there's something about like some lunar thing happening tonight between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. And so we're going to try to do the Raku firing so it coincides with that for him. So I'll live stream that tonight. It's going to be very dark, but yeah, well, I bet you've seen me trim, but probably not like this because we haven't really done much production stuff. Because we've trimmed on all the other stuff we've made, all the cups and all the teapots and all that kind of stuff. It's just not quite as aggressive and constant. So, you ever heard of a Raku firing, Luna? They're kind of cool. It's Elena. How are ya? Is that how you say your name? My brain hasn't turned on yet today. I haven't had enough tea. So, a Raku firing is pretty cool. I'm gonna do it in my electric kiln. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna turn on the kiln at like 11 p.m. and I'm gonna get it to 1900 degrees Fahrenheit. And then when it's 1900 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm gonna turn off the kiln and unplug it so I don't kill myself by accidentally shocking myself. And then I'm going to take the glowing red hot pieces out of the kiln and put them into a trash can full of something combustible. And then I'm going to wait 20 minutes and take them out, and they're all going to look pretty. So it's like one of the few instant gratification things you can do for pottery. Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't normally do it, especially at this late, but yeah, he's a buddy, so that's going to be this evening. So that's going to be, oh, I've messed up on this one. That's 12 a.m. my time. So that's in 13 and a half hours from now. What's what? This or the what we're talking about, the Raku firing? This is just a cup. But the Raku firing is, like I said, for my buddy. I don't have anything that's going into the Raku firing. I guess I could find something that's bisqued or something. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to be. I'm not, to be honest, I don't want to be awake at that time either. But that's okay. I'll find something to do to keep me busy until then. The Raku firings are cool because unlike every other firing, it takes 3.5 hours to do and you get your product. Whereas every other type of firing, even electric firings, you have to wait a decent amount longer than that. Not like a crazy amount longer if you're just electric firing, but come on, buddy. There we go. I don't know, Luna. I don't have much left to do. I don't have any. Maybe if we have some clay to make some little teapots or something. I told someone on here that we were going to make a mug. So maybe we'll do that. But so the way kind of how my process works, just so you know, Luna. Um, it's gonna rain tomorrow. I'll be in here like pretty constantly for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then you just won't see me for about a month. And then I'll be in here for like 2 or 3 weeks every day for like hours and hours, and then you won't see me for a month. And that's kind of how how the process is gonna work. Yeah, yeah, you can certainly have one. The shop's in my bio. There's a few left. It's a lot of frowny faces. So, yeah, we might have like a tea session together or something like that. Um, and then it's also really dependent on when the next firing is. It might not be a full month. It might end up being between 2 and 3 weeks. But yeah, I always take a bit of a break because there's nothing to show you guys. Essentially, it's like I work, I make stuff, I glaze it, and then I have to promote it. And I might come on and just kind of show you guys what we've made and all that kind of stuff. Um, but I don't know how many times I can do that. We could have like tea together and things like that. That's kind of what we should probably do that a little bit. I was about to say that's what the membership is for, but the membership is for like oddball stuff, like going on hikes together and going on a fishing adventure and blah 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 blah. And one sec, my fire is. It was too cold in here, and now it's fucking crazy hot in here, like 1,000,000 degrees. Yeah, it all just depends. It also depends on like what firings next and how many firings I have. So like right now, I'm preparing for 3 different firings, and I don't even have enough stuff for one firing. So technically, I should be in here a lot more, but I don't have any clay, and so I have to order some clay. But I also need to order these silicon carbide shelves, and each shelf costs, from the place that I was going to order from, cost $182 a shelf, and I need 4 of them. And there's another place that's in the opposing direction by an hour and a half that sells similar ones that are 1/2 inch instead of 3/4 inch for $87 each. So it's definitely worth doing that. But it's kind of crazy. There's so little money in pottery, and it's such an expensive thing to do. I don't really understand why there isn't more money. I think I don't know. It's interesting. Like the super nice shelves that I'm not going to buy, they're $260 per shelf, and I would need 9 of them. And you have to replace those every 3 or 4 years. If not more often, depending on how hard you're firing and how fast and how often and blah blah blah. Pottery's not cheap. Because the ones I've been using for the last couple of years are on their last legs. They're all cracking and breaking, and it's not worth it. So um, I have 9 shelves. Well, I take it back. I had 9 shelves. 2 of them broke on me during the last firing. I can use them as like half shelves, but it's not ideal, right? Because that means I'm losing a certain amount of um, thermal mass while I'm firing the kiln. Because I could technically still do it. Come on, buddy. Whatever, close enough. But that's all right. But that is another reason why everything's expensive. And why it's messed up when people ask for free stuff. Go ask a painter for free stuff. That's way cheaper. And it barely costs anybody anything. Sounds good. See you in a bit. So what's curious is that like a lot of people dislike the trimming part of pottery. And I think that's insane because when you're throwing, you're really just throwing the top half of a pot. And so if you are eliminating the enjoyment and the trimming aspect of it, you're only really making half a pot. Um, unless, of course, you're throwing it so paper thin on the bottom that you can't do anything to it and then it is just done. But that's a silly thing to do. People do it, but I think it's a silly thing to do. So, and I understand why people don't like it. It's just because they don't get to practice as much. Um, and they don't want to, ruin their pots that they just made. So I understand why they're not into it, but it's such an important aspect of pottery that I feel like gets overlooked by most. No one saw that, by the way. That didn't actually just happen. Fully under control. Meant to do that. Shoved that. Never done that before. That was a fun thing to have on camera. So, it's like I can only do so much. This, like, again, like I was saying, this part up is thrown, this part down is trimmed. And so it's always weird to me that people don't want to trim stuff, or they're scared of it, or they are feeling uncomfortable about it. Again, I understand it, but I do wish that it was something that people focused on a little bit more. It's also the way that hurt your back. If you're sitting down, really sitting when you're throwing, totally fine for your back. It's the trimming because you're really like arched over, hurting yourself. The standing kind of negates all of that because you are over, but you're not hunched, and so you don't bend your back as much. But standing is very uncommon, and here's what it is. I might, Max. We do that at the very end. We go through everything, see if we like something. If we don't like it, we break it. If we like it, then it gets to live to the next stage. At the moment, I haven't seen anything I dislike. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. But that isn't the stage for right now, I'm afraid. So I'm really enjoying like these almost pedestal footed pieces where they almost look almost like a goblet, but they're not, but they're akin to a goblet, I suppose. All right, I need a quick sip of tea. More oolong today. This is kind of a not super high quality Taiguanyin. It's it's nice. It's a good studio tea. I'm out of my pu'er, as some of you may know. Very upsetting, very distraught. But because of the Scotland women, I'll be able to afford it a little bit more soon, so that'll be good. Uh, that's a good question. Taught myself in 2014, and then I turned into a full-time business in 2018. So it's been a few years. Have you done any pottery yourself, or any art form at all? I also uh, I have an aunt who's a potter as well. So I've been doing like hand building pottery stuff a little bit throughout my life, and I took hand building classes and stuff like that in when I was a kid. But it's like when people say they did pottery in high school, it doesn't mean anything. It's like when someone says that, it's like they're saying no to me when I ask them if they've done pottery and they say I've done it in high school or in college for that matter. It means nothing. It's like, yeah. What kind of pictures do you draw? You should. You should take a class somewhere. It's not a super cheap thing to get into. And so taking a class at a craft center is definitely the best bet. Otherwise, it's like pretty costly. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And it seems like for most, pottery becomes kind of an addiction, so it gets pretty quick. That's awesome, Abby. What kind of stuff did you make in college? What were you hand building? The wheel's hard, and if you don't have the right instructor, or you don't have like a weirdly hard drive to learn it yourself, um, it's difficult. I'm self-taught. I went to an art school, but there wasn't any pottery instructors there, so I taught myself how to do all this stuff. But it would have been a lot easier if I had a good instructor. I wouldn't have had to make everything up. That being said, because I had to make everything up as I went, I think it really helped how I teach because I had the I've been able to see All the mistakes that I made first too. Nice. That's awesome. Can't go wrong with a nice handmade gift. It's all good, Luna. I'll see you when you're back. Oh, did I break this? Oops. I thought it was drier. I think I just ruined this one. So this one, Max, might be right up your alley because it's gonna get ruined. I tapped it down too hard. Oh no, we're fine still, but I have to wet this set up again because I hit it and that collapsed on itself, which is what I want, but not to the degree that it did. So, oh, that's cool. Woodworking is conceptually very similar, I guess, to pottery, but you're doing the opposite, right? You're reducing in wood and you're adding or building off of what you have in pottery. So it's a very similar thing. Woodworking is very cool. I just got into just I don't feel like getting a lathe or any of that, but I've been whittling, and so I've been making hairpins and matcha spoons and things like that. I have this really cool spalted ash that no, it's a spalted poplar that I took down a little while ago. Or someone took down. I didn't take it down. I just cut it up. Did I take? No, I didn't take that one down. The tree burns really well, and the wood grain is just gorgeous on it. Hmm. Yeah, the hairpins were really fun. The problem is that I don't have much hair, right? So I can't really test it. So luckily, I have some friends who have longer hair, and they kind of workshopped it with me a little bit. Dima, what's up? How are the birds? Um, but yeah, I've already gotten bored with that. But the matcha spoons, I've actually kind of bored with most of the whittly stuff, but I'll get back to it at some point. It was a nice just break from making pots. You know, I make a lot of pots every year, thousands and thousands of pots. And so it's nice to have like a little bit of break in the monotony of doing that, even though they're all different and they're all exciting. It is nice to switch up a medium from time to time. Good. Glad to hear. I'm doing just fine. It's a beautiful day. I think Dog and I are gonna go hang out outside soon once we're done with this. Though we have a ways to go. We're not even halfway done with our trimming yet. We've done about a third of what needs to be done. Nice, that's awesome. Actually, I have some that if you guys want to see, I have some of my matcha spoons next to me that I made. If you were interested, they're gonna all go up on my shop during the next shop update. Um, the only problem is that I need to find something. I sealed them in with Danish oil, but I think I need something that seals them in harder because they do stain a little bit. Hmm. I'm not sure. Abby, that's a good question. Double walled pots are my favorite thing. But actually, you know what my favorite thing has been? Actually, let me show you. I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you the matcha spoon, which has been fun, and I'm going to show you something else we've been making. So, little teapots, and then here's one of my matcha spoons. You know, kind of goes in flow with everything else I do that has nice and wobbles and undulations. And then look at that spalting, and I got red and black. Um, so these are perfect little matcha whisks. But then I've been making these little baby teapots recently that I've been really enjoying. The light's hitting it weirdly, so you can't really see, but you get the idea. But I really like making double walled pieces. I really like making teapots. Um, the whistles we were making were pretty cool. I'm kind of bored of those though. Two of them are being bisqued right now, which is kind of fun. What kind of storm? Like a big rainy storm or what? Thank you, Abby. Yeah, Max, it's fun to whittle. It's a good mindless activity to do while I'm drinking my tea and having my fire every day. Because I have a bit of a fire obsession. Usually like 2 to 5 fires a day. 1 to 3. I exaggerated. No one needs to know that. A lot of snow? Where are you again, Dima? Yeah, we're almost there. Kind of. Ah, yeah. You know, did I tell you I almost booked a flight to Utah for next week? I decided against it, but there's a clay convention happening in Utah, and I almost did it, but I don't know. I don't want to do it. Hmm. Fires are the best, Abby. Why aren't you having more fires in your life? What's going on? A bowl-a-thon. That's so cool. How many bowls did you make, Kyle? What a great idea. Gotcha. Good to know. And you said in a that's cool. And how big are the bowls we're talking about? Are we talking um rice bowls? Are we talking cereal bowls? Are we talking salad bowls? Are we talking like fruit bowls? Awesome. Super cool. I love that idea. Where are you? What studio is this? Killer. That's fantastic. That's good to know, Dima. Because I was like, what I was planning on doing was going to Nsika for one day. The first day, it's always the cheapest, and then just doing like a couple days of hiking. But I don't really feel like hiking in the snow. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but what? You got to go camping more, Abby. What are you doing? Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. Good to know. I want to go camping more myself. I'm not sure how much Olive really wants to camp. She's kind of a princess and likes her bed and everything. And so I think she's gonna have a hard time with it. Olive's my dog, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Who's very comfortably asleep next to my firewood stove on a bed with two of my jackets laying on top of her. Um, but she has a hard time settling down when we sleep in a tent. But I would like to do some more like long distance backpacking with her. Welcome back, Luna. Oh yeah? What kind of dog, Abby? Of course, Luna. And we weren't actually talking about you this time, unlike all yesterday, which every time you left, we talked about you. But not today. Today, you're good. All right, I'm just going to flip this tray around. So, this is what we've done so far. We were halfway done on this tray, and then And then we're going to switch over to the big stuff. And then I don't think the plates are actually going to be ready to trim yet. But after we finish this row, we're going to cut the plates off and go from there. What's up, Walla? How are you? Hi, Dima. Have a wonderful day. Say hi to the birds for me. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's really hard. A lab mix is nice. Are you a rescue, or are you where do you get your where are you finding said dog? Oh, so we need to undercut the plates, flip them over. Actually, we're going to do that right after this one. So I want them to start drying so we can actually do it. Good. 12 years is fantastic. I'm glad. Still is hard, though. I don't know what I'm going to do when my little dog goes. Probably be very depressed for a while. For a long while. But oh, interesting. Huh. Oh, Craigslist. I haven't even thought about Craigslist for a million years. Gotcha. Nice. I'm sure it'll happen. Are you going to come up with a name at that point, or they may already have a name that you're going to keep? Or is there a name that you've been liking? What's up, Manatee? How are ya? Are you the lord of all manatees, or just a manatee lord? I don't know, Luna. My cats both live to 23. So I mean, who knows? Cats live forever, it seems like, which is really nice. I was actually thinking about getting an adventure cat. Not my. I never actually expected to have a dog in my life. Um, my ex wanted Olive, and luckily, even though this was not the agreement, um, she was willing to let me keep Olive after we broke up a few years ago. I wasn't going to fight it, so it was really nice of her to let me keep her. It wouldn't have made sense because my ex immediately then hiked the AT, and she wanted a little purebred thing anyway, so she got a $3,000 Jack Russell Terrier, which is whatever. Cute, cute. Yes, good. Exactly. You gotta learn the personality first. Yo, how are ya? Doing well. It's a great day to trim some pots, you know? I can't complain. I should go open up my greenhouse soon. I think my roof is closed. Yes, I remember that. Are you feeling okay about that still, Luna? I was thinking about it, Manti, but I'm not going to. I think I'm gonna just chill here. The thing is, in Sika, I don't actually know when the dates are this year, but I start a tennis teaching job on the 23rd, and my birthday's on the 17th, and I don't really want to be flying on my birthday. Do you know the dates of Nsika this year? I might look it up if you don't, because I'm kind of curious. Did you break up with him? Don't do it, Luna. Be strong. Don't get back together with him. It's not worth it. Never ends well. I don't know how old you are, but it's not. Don't do it. That's my one piece of advice. It's this month, the 17th of March, in 5 days from now, whatever. Good. Be an old man in 17 days. I guess I'm already getting up there. Not really. But thank you. I appreciate that. When's your birthday, Abby? I'm going to quickly Google when Nsika is because I'm actually curious at the moment. Nsika 2025, Utah. Because it's in Utah. It is, okay, it's March 26th to 29th, so I can't do it. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm already teaching. That's late. It's never that late. I've never seen Nsika at the very, very end of March like that. It usually starts around my birthday on like the 17th and then goes to like the 24th. That's weird to me. Nice. Happy almost birthday. Is it bad luck in Germany to wish someone an early birthday, Luna? Where did that where did that come about from? Or how did that come about? It's almost May, right? Kinda. How old are you turning, Abby? Oh my God, we're the same age. I'm turning 33 in 5 days. Cool. Joyce, how are you? What's new? What's happening? Tell me everything. What's not nice about it? Um, oh yeah, 33 is a great year. 30s have been my favorite so far, for sure. Way better than my 20s. Much uh, much better. Well, very different, but in a kind of a nice way. Good. Glad to hear it, Joyce. Joyce, is it almost your birthday too? Were you one of the March birthdays? Right? I think it makes a big difference, eh? Yeah. I want to hear it. Try. I want to hear the attempted explanation. I'm curious. I'm excited for this next firing. And I think we're gonna fire the 29th of March. What's up, JM? How are you? What's new? What's going on? What have you been up to? What have you been making? Ah, that's right. Okay. I kind of feel like I knew that because I don't know if I was talking to you about this at one point, but I was supposed to be born on Valentine's Day, and then I stayed in an extra month, which is an insane thing. Um, Annie, how are ya? I appreciate that. I was talking about you guys because I was so thankful that I can buy some puer soon because of you guys. Because I've been craving it badly, and I'm full out, and it's a sad day here. A slug at so what kind of slug? Like a banana slug? Any slug, specific slugs, or just like a generalized artistic slug ashtray? I don't think it's okay. I'm fine by it. I feel like Luna, it's because people don't want to acknowledge that they're getting older, and I like getting older at this point. At some point, I will tap out at the point that I'm happy about getting older. But at the moment, I'm happy. I'm so psyched to go gray. I don't think you guys can see it. I actually don't remember what side, but I have a whole gray patch somewhere on the top of my head. I'm so excited to have full head of gray hair. What's up, Pat? How are you? Oh my God, Annie. I can't even with you guys. A psychedelic slug sounds fantastic. I don't even know. Hmm, I see. I see. It's just bad luck. Then is that the issue? Oh yeah? Is this the first time you've worn contacts? Or are you just trying a different brand, or what's the deal? I'm probably gonna, after we get out of the studio, I'm gonna go throw some contacts in and go on an adventure, do some handstands or something. Yeah? You're actually into it? You don't think it tastes too fishy? Because I have to steep it pretty hard and I'm loving it. But it definitely is an acquired taste, so I'm glad you're into it. Speaks wonders about your character, Annie. Gotcha. Sydney, what's up? How are you? Yeah, the glasses, you know, I mean, I'm wearing them right now, but I'm to be honest, I'm kind of today. I wish I would put contacts in. I'm like not, I'm not feeling these, but that's okay. So, I said this earlier in the stream, but now that a bunch of you guys are here, uh, okay, like so more of your own artistic understanding of a slug then, JM. Um, so I have a friend who is really into collecting and doing things like during specific events. So like apparently there's some weird lunar thing happening tonight. I don't remember what it is, but he wants to fire the kiln during that period. So here's the thing. The period that he's talking about is 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. tonight. And I he's a good friend of mine, so I'm agreeing to do this, but we're going to do a Raku firing probably around 12 a.m. tonight, and I'm gonna do it live with you guys. I don't have a lot of light that I can shine, so I don't know how well it's gonna go for actually seeing what's happening, but I'm gonna try my hardest. Um, it's a lunar eclipse tonight. Is that what it is? Okay, so he wants to do a Raku firing that's during the lunar eclipse. Oh, my bedtime is like 9 p.m. Abby. Sydney. I don't, I do not want to be awake, but he's a good buddy. Um, and he made these really cool things. The kiln's at 450 degrees at the moment. I did a bisque last night. Um, so I'll show you guys if we have time and they're dry enough the insects he made because he made some really cool stuff, like really fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, he like digs clay at a very specific time. So he like dug the clay up during like the solstice, and then he wants to fire it during the eclipse, and he does stuff like that. He's everything, and then he documents the whole process and writes everything down, and then and it's how he does everything artistically. It's kind of an interesting way of living. Uh, Annie, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Anyway, oh well, he's coming tonight, so. He's coming to. We're gonna do that Raku firing tonight. I wish I could, Joyce. I can't sleep. I can't take naps during the day. But I think it'll be cool. Christina, how are you? What's new? What are you up to? Annie, thank you for contributing to my tea addiction. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go order some tea after this. I've been now out of Puer for like 5 days, and I'm losing my mind a little bit. Yeah, right. It's important. What's your new job, Abby? So he came over yesterday, and because so what he texted me, he's like, "Can we fire your kiln on the 13th?" But he didn't say, "Can we fire your kiln on the 13th in the middle of the night, like the first couple hours of the 13th?" He didn't say that, and I'm like, "Sure, man." And he came over yesterday. He sat in my studio. I was making a little butterfly pendant for Sharp, but she doesn't like it because it's too big, so someone else can have it. Um, but so I'll have to make another one for her at some point. Um, I like these; they're so goblet-esque. They're cute. Um, we were sitting and we were talking for a bit, and he was like, "Yeah, so it has to be between these 3 hours." Um, so we're gonna try our hardest and get that done tonight. But um, gotcha, Annie. I appreciate that. Cool. You're enjoying it? I assume this is a new job you were saying? Okay, we're gonna quickly cut off the plates we made yesterday so we can let those dry. So hopefully by the time we are done with all this, we can trim the plates as well. The plates are a little bit soft still. I should not have wrapped them up last night, but I was kind of like, I was tired and I just wasn't thinking straight. Thank you, Annie. So I know these are not like plates, but I think their plates are really boring to make, and I refuse to do it. But I don't refuse to do it, but I just don't want to do it. Whoop. Pottery's all about doing things with confidence. You gotta do it without looking and just kind of wing things around. All right, so that is really wet. So hopefully this will set up by the time I'm gonna put it in front of my fire. They're close to my fire. So we got that one, and then we got this one over here. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. It's nice to be a part of things that you wouldn't normally be a part of. Thank you, Joyce. These are more like shallow pasta bowls, honestly, but we're calling them a plate, even though they're not. No, we're gonna do the Raku firing tonight. My big kiln is firing on the 29th. I haven't even started glazing for that firing, so um, and I can't until the underglaze comes, and that is getting delivered. Oh, today actually. So, but what we have to do before we can even start doing that is um, we have to wash all the pots that I've made so far because I have not done that. I have no, so all my whistles are going to go into the my wood firing on the 29th. I am just now bisking the first two whistles. So they are in the kiln currently. They'll be out. They're in with my buddies, little insects that we're raku firing. So I will be able to, um, we can play one of the whistles together in a little bit if you guys want. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm really hoping nothing exploded. I really hope everything was dry enough for a lot of reasons. But we'll find out together if you want. I'm probably going to use cryptomeria in newspaper and sawdust, Joyce. It's up to him. I mean, he can make his decision. I'm going to do all the parts that might get someone hurt, and then he can do all the easy stuff. Yeah, Max, we've only been going for 57 minutes. We're halfway done at this point. We're about halfway. So we have another hour to go. Yeah, I really am excited for the whistles. Um, I thought we had made more, but I guess we only made 3 or 4. I bisked 2 of them yesterday, and I have 2 left. So I guess we've only made 4 whistles. I guess that's about my cap as far as getting bored on something. Um, so it's my buddy's insects that he made out of wild clay that he dug up in the riverbed, and then he took some of my I gave him some of this porcelain to mix in with it to make it a little bit more stable. Um, I have nothing to put into the raku firing myself, so it's just going to be his little insects. I guess technically I could raku fire one of the whistles if I really wanted to, but I'd rather wood fire a whistle. I think that'd be kind of cooler. So, yeah. Oh, and cryptomeria, I threw that word out earlier, and I'm realizing that it may have been an unknown plant, and it's a Japanese cedar tree that I grow on the property. And I put it in there not because it does anything exciting, but I really like the smell of it. And so, um, any excuse I have to burn it, I put it in. It's what I smoke olive salmon with. Is cryptomeria. And if I'm making smoked tofu, that's what I smoke with. Um, it's very strong flavor though, so you don't want to use too much of it if you're cooking with it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was I said it out loud. I'm just so used to saying the word that I don't think about it too often anymore. The tree is really cool itself. Um, Actually, it's what I use to texture a lot of my work. So this is some of its foliage that's dried out. Hmm. No, I have not tried a double-walled whistle. That seems redundant, like kind of ridiculous. I could make a double-walled whistle, I guess, but I don't really know the point of it. Um, yeah, Abby, I can't really explain to you. It's just a very specific, pungent smell. Uh, I guess if you how would I describe this? Hmm. Um, how would I describe that? Okay, here's how I would describe this. Have you ever burned mugwort before? You get, if you have, it's imagine a really, really mild mugwort that's burnt mixed with a very, very mild, like traditional cedar. And imagine both of them just having both very mild versions of themselves combined. And that's kind of what this smells like. Mm. Hi, hi. Welcome back. Wait, yeah, welcome back. That's probably how I would describe it. It's a really kind of beautiful smell. Well, so they have both multiple chambers, but the chambers are not double walled. Sorry, maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. So most of them have the three of them have three chambers. One of them has two chambers, but none of them are double walled chambers. That is you know what? That is a great question. I wonder if you can get the smell by making a wooden wick out of cryptomeria and just using the wick as that, and then just doing like a beeswax base or something. Or if I made like an essential oil from the cryptomeria, what a pain in the butt essential oil making is. I could make a tincture. No, the tincture is probably not going to smell the same though. And essential oil probably wouldn't smell the same either, because it's the smoke aspect of it. Hmm. It does not matter whatsoever that the chuck is wobbly, Christina. You can use whatever piece of cruddy clay that you got. Oh, Abby, that is brilliant. I'll try that. I'll try to make a smoked beeswax. Okay, wait. Here we go. Do we use a soy base or do we use beeswax? Because the beeswax might be too powerful. But I have beeswax and I don't have any soy. I'm gonna try with the beeswax. I think I have because I used to make candles. Do you guys know I used to make candles? I got really obsessed with making candles for like a month, and then I never touched it again. That seems to happen quite often. I'll like do something like screen printing. I'll get like obsessed with it for a month and then never do it again, and all that kind of fun stuff. Hello, cousin. How are you? Um, yeah, I a lot of interest that I can do sometimes. um, okay, we're gonna try that. Maybe we'll even make that a video. And so the reason I was doing candles to begin with is that I had pots of mine that were gorgeous, but there was some flaw in them. Usually on the inside, something had fallen in and there was an issue and I couldn't sell it. And so I was making them into candles because they weren't really like up to par for a functional, utilitarian functional piece for me. And so I was using my old kind of like issue pots as candle bases. Um, but then I got bored and so I stopped. I don't think I ever even ended up selling any of them. I really liked burning them myself, so I think I just used all the product myself. So that was it was great. I really liked it. Uh, but yeah, I have to not use my own stuff. So maybe we'll make a candle. Let me see when I go back upstairs. I'll see what wax I actually have left. Is the other reason I stopped is maybe I ran out of wax. Right? I think so too. It was like a really nice use of older pots that were kind of like beautiful, but eh. It was either that or a landfill. So it seemed like a nice solution. The thing is that recently I haven't been having as many issue pots, and so they I haven't really been needing to do it as much. But there are two issue pots in my kiln room that are gorgeous, like really spectacular. The issue's on the outside, so I don't know if that's going to be a detriment to selling. I don't, Christina, because I trim so wet. These are not as wet as normal, but I usually trim so wet that it doesn't really matter. And these are like they're like $8 each, or maybe they're more expensive now. I don't actually know. Um, but they last me like a year and a half each, and so I'm almost rather just like what ends up happening is that I wonder if I can find one of my older ones. I don't think I can. I think I probably got rid of them, so I can't explain it. But essentially, that's the stock standard thickness, and you can already see how much I've worn it down, right? So by the time I get rid of these things, this piece is almost non-existent. And so like what is there to sharpen anyway? What's up, Kubo? Agreed. There's a bunch of cool things like the woodworking with the matcha spoons and things like that, and um, the candle making and the jewelry making and the t-shirt making, and there's a bunch of things that some of them are more of a stretch than others, but a lot of them can have a nice overlap. Um, so it is pretty nice. Really hard to get bored when there's so many different aspects to all of this. Um, so I'm kind of over kintsugi, but what I would like to do, yes, Abby, you 100% could do that. But what I would prefer to learn how to do, and I've been kind of putting this off because I feel like I'm going to get obsessed with it. So, do you guys know the origin of kintsugi? Um, it was essentially an emperor. If you don't, it was and a kintsugi, for those who don't know, is repairing gold. But the emperor of like whatever, I think it was Japan, wanted something more beautiful because what they were doing prior to that was drilling holes and then placing staples back into the pots to fuse them back together. And the staples are like spectacular, like really spectacular. And so I want to learn how to drill properly into pots and staple them back together, and then use maybe like a silver piece of metal to fuse anything on top that needs to be fixed. Um, I'm sure you guys have seen the staples somewhere because they were kind of popular a little bit. Um, hi, Annie. Um, but they're really beautiful. So I want to learn how to do that. Joyce, let's hear your idea. I'd love to hear it. I'm ready for it, Sydney. I'm psyched. Yeah. So, and I think that type of repair work would lend itself better to my work because my stuff's already kind of wobbly and undulating and all that. And I think that if I had like a staple, like fusing two undulating points together, I think it would just add this extra bit of interest that would be really spectacular. I do want to learn how to like repair things nice and properly too, because a lot of people are constantly asking me for repair jobs, and I'm like, I'd rather you just buy another pot for me, but that's okay. I didn't even know there was a high button Annie. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, it seems just as good as Kintsugi as far as leak proofs go. All right, I'll see you when you're back. I mean, I have to do some more research into it, honestly, Christina. Um, but aesthetically, I like it a lot more, and so I want it to work, even if it might not. I could totally do that. So you know that do you know that bigger piece that did really well for me on Instagram? They got like I think it hit 7 million views recently. Um, all those holes that everybody thinks where the sound comes out of, that is exactly what you just said. It's just a slab of clay and I poked holes through it. It does nothing. It's just purely aesthetic. Um, right. I think it does too. But I agree. I think that would be very cool uh, to make like a faux double walled whistle. All right, we got two more of these to do, and then we're going to switch over to our wider ones. And then hopefully our plates are dry enough. But actually, you know what I'm going to quickly do? I'm going to go prop up the kiln, just crack it open with a kiln brick, and then I can bring you guys over and we can look inside. Or we can, I'll bring the stuff in here and we can play the whistle and stuff. So give me a half a second. You can just do it with epoxy, Christine. It's pretty easy. You don't have to do the like whole traditional like kintsugi because that stuff. Actually, you guys can still hear me, I assume, because ooh, that's a tight squeeze. Because you guys are on my headphones. Um, so let's see. The kiln is at 353 degrees currently. Please, please do not break. I really hope these didn't explode. Haha! Nothing has exploded. So we're gonna just prop up the kiln. It doesn't really matter. 350 degrees. When we're done with all the trimming, it should be done. Nothing has exploded. I'm excited to show you his beetles and the two whistles. I put my Wi-Fi extender too close to my door, so it's hard for me to get into it. Oh, it smells like cryptomerian here today because I just burned that. It smells great. No, Joyce, that's exactly it. It was like just like a fake holes. I thought it looked cool, and you couldn't tell in the video. The reason I did it is that it showed the interior mechanism that made the whistle work. Um, but I thought it was really ugly, unexposed or exposed. So I wanted to cover it up, and you could only see it if you really looked for it, which is the reasoning I had. I'm genuinely surprised nothing exploded. Like those whistles have a lot of parts to them, and they're not always so structurally sound. So, uh, kind of shocked. You can, Annie, if you want to, but my electric kiln's really boring. It's literally just an oval. Um, you're welcome to see it. I'd rather just wait till the 29th and show you guys my actual kiln. Electric kilns are just literally just circles. They're just actually tonight. Raku firing tonight, 12 a.m. my time, ish. And I'm gonna have the camera set up in that room so you can kind of watch the kiln and as I take out the burning hot, glowing red dots of stuff. Exactly, Christina. Um, Obviously, I will just repost the video like I do all my lives, and so you do not actually have to be there for it, and you can watch watch it all happen. But on the 29th, we'll be firing my kiln, which is much more exciting than just looking at a circle that is pre-built and has logo Scud on it. But you know, my little Scud kiln's great and everything, but it's like it's an electric kiln. Who cares? But my wood kiln, that's the cool stuff. Christina, send me a piece. If you got some Cone 10 clay, ship one over soon. I'll throw it in for you. Yeah, no, I honestly don't expect anybody to show up that late. I also won't be I sure. Okay, Annie. Uh if you really want to see my electric kiln, you're welcome to it. It's really it's just literally that room is a it's just an absolute mess. It's where I make all my glazes. It has all my dry goods, has all my oxides, and I have like someone dropped off the other day like 900 pounds of cone 6 clay that's like rock hard, and I just left it out there over winter. So if anybody's local and wants a couple free boxes of cone 6 clay, here, just take it. You have to reconstitute it, but I don't want it. I was just taking it to be kind of friendly. Um, I guess it's really easy to reconstitute. Here's a fun thing that it's becoming more mainstream now, so it's I think a lot of people know about how to reconstitute bone dry clay at this point, but um, I have a suspicion too, Christina. So if they did, send me something that's bisque, and I'll glaze it for you if it is. Um, so if you need to reconstitute like a brick of bone dry clay, you just add in like there is a percentage, but who cares? You just put some water in there, fill up a 5 gallon bucket full of water, put in your bagged clay into the water, get rid of all the air, tie it up, cover 24 hours, boom, soft clay, done, easy. Yeah, no worries. And remember, it has to be T-wear size, which I know you're making. It's gonna be great. And we can, if everything works out, we can talk about what color you want and go from there. And it can either be in my kiln or it can be in the soda kiln. If you send me two, you can do both. Though, I don't know when the soda firing is. It seems like my kiln is going to be the next firing. Some of the wood that I was cutting the other day that I got from a delivery, it is wet. I split it open. This is like the wettest cherry and the wettest oak on the dead center on some of these pieces. It's fine, but man, oh yeah. What time is it for you at 12 a.m. my time? I'm on 12 a.m. EST. Just out of curiosity, what's the time change or the difference? All right, that's our last little cup. And now we're switching over to our squatter guys. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, that's pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Have you been to the States before, Annie? I'm gonna throw another log in my fire so my woods, my plates are gonna dry faster. Give me 1 sec. You know, all this talking about clay is making me realize. So I'm teaching this class. Okay, and so I'll be streaming probably around 5 a.m. ish your time then. So I kind of begrudgingly am teaching this class down at our art association, starting on like the 23rd or something. And something I haven't messaged the person about because I just don't care about doing this job is if they have clay or not. I know you are. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. How are you doing that? It is a time machine. Um, so I should message this person and see what the deal is because I'm not going to go buy clay for this class. I have to go buy clay for myself. So, yeah, right? Could be a problem. There are parts of the US that are pretty nice. Thank you, Pat. Um, I don't know, whatever. The thing is, I have to go pick up clay for myself, and I don't have room to pick up clay for other people because I'm gonna grab 1,000 pounds of clay for myself probably, and that doesn't really leave my clay. My car can only hold so much weight, so pretty cute, eh? Oh man, I'm liking these ones. We're not going to be undulating that. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we haven't undulated the feet of any of these so far. And I really like undulating feet, but I kind of wanted to just do something different for this firing. Yeah, the lower ones are cool. This one, I'm not so. This one's kind of like a hybrid. I think this is one of the ones I wasn't paying attention. One of them we lost. One of them is cracking currently. We're going to try to fix it, but I don't know if it's possible or not. Yeah, right? That's pretty cool. The uh the guy who's I'm doing this firing for tonight, he apparently is going up to go get clay soon, like in the next couple days, from the place I'm gonna get clay. But it's just I feel and he offered to get the clay for me, but it's too much clay. It's too much of an obligation. I don't want someone to have their car bottom out because he's getting like a couple 100 pounds. A student of mine wants a couple 100 pounds. I'm gonna get, 8 to 1,000, 800 pounds to 1,000 pounds of clay. It's just too much. So you can take natural clay and just fire it. You just have to do tests. So the terracotta that is around here in my local rivers, it starts melting at cone 6. So you could probably fire it to cone 4. It's probably a cone 4 terracotta. You could fire lighter if you wanted. The thing is that when I asked him to do, I thought he was trying to make stuff for my wood kiln, and if he wanted to do that, he would need to mix this cone 10 porcelain, 2/3 of this cone 10 porcelain to 1/3 of his clay, and then he could fire it into my wood kiln. The results are really beautiful. So that's what I thought he was asking for when he originally was like, "When are you firing?" Um, so, but you could just do tests and fire it depending on whatever your clay body is. It's pretty sweet. I could make whatever you want. It's pretty great. I'm not going to, but I can. So it's great for if I'm teaching, because I can. If anybody asks to make anything, I can make it for them. Um, and then we can figure, if they wanted to do something, because I have my own aesthetic, and everybody else has their own aesthetic. Um, so I can make anything, and we can then learn how to make it for them. But I probably will never actually do that thing. But it then also opens up the possibilities of taking aspects of that idea that I would never have thought of, and then somehow integrating into the work that I'm doing, which is something that happens quite often. So for students, I love taking ideas, um, and trying to flesh it out. And then it's interesting is I figure out how to do it, and then I show them, and then generally they're not necessarily good enough to just do it right. And so what ends up happening a lot of the time is that they'll do something that I hadn't thought about because they didn't have the skills to do the thing that I was asking them to do. And it turns out that the thing that they're doing has an aesthetic that I actually like more than the thing that I was teaching them how to do. And so it really full circles, and it shows me, um, kind of helps me create my own designs on different aspects of things. Welcome back, Luna. How are you? What have you been getting up to? Trouble, I assume. Seem like a troublemaker to me, Luna. Nice. What book you reading? So many things, Annie. I have no idea. That's like millions of things, I'm sure. It certainly can be. I despised forced collaboration. Like when I'm when I have to do something like in a group setting. But it's when it's that kind of collaboration, I'm all for it. A romantic book. Oh my, Luna. My goodness. I should be making these wider, these feet, but I don't want to. Wider because when I add do the wadding stuff, it's going to make my life harder, but I don't want to. And that's all I have to say about that. These are gonna be great. These are gonna be like such good like tea bowls. I'm psyched. Super functional. What made the person bad and what made the person good? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It was that bad? Man, oh man. What kind of book are you reading over there, Luna? My goodness. I'm digging these. I think these are going to be when they shrink an inch in every dimension. I think these are going to be absolutely lovely. Um, I think I actually like them more. There's less undulation to them, but I think I like them more functionally than the other ones we were making. One of these, oh, this is the cracked one. So this is what just happens with my porcelain sometimes. It's yeah, well, it gets me into trouble sometimes. Okay, so I was going to try to patch this one, but we can't. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna quickly trim this one, and then we're gonna cut it in half if we can, because I want you guys to see what we're actually doing. So I'm not gonna care too much how we do this. So we're just gonna very lightly trim this, just so whatever, and then we're gonna cut this in half because I want you guys to see what we're actually. I know I just repeated myself, but what we're actually doing to get an idea. Because I think it's kind of sometimes hard to conceptualize what the trimming is truly doing. It'd be more helpful if I showed you one that was not trimmed and one that was trimmed, but I think this will still be a good thing. I really like it, honestly. It keeps me going. I get really bored in here. I need the extra stimulation. I mean, I've also been live streaming since 2015, 16. I started on Periscope, then I was on Facebook, then I was on Instagram, I was on TikTok, and now I'm here. So, all right, that was just a really quick trim. Now let's cut this in half because I just again wanted to show you. Actually, it's really if we're gonna really do it, I would do this too. Thank you, Annie. Is that the name of the book? Oh man. There's also at one point like, how do I cut a piece in half and then like reattach it so it's interesting? So this is what they look like cross section wise. Could do. Not happening here though. Yeah. And so this is going to shrink 14.5% as well. So the thinness that it is currently is going to shrink quite substantially. And we're actually going to let this one just dry naturally. We may even biscuit. Actually, we might even glaze fire it. Why not? I think it is a nice example of something. Um, at one point in my life, I was like, why not I just make cups, cut them in half, and then make them into wall hanging planters, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Put a back slab on it, and then you have this trimmed cup that's now a planter for something like the problem is that I have to make it bigger. When things shrink like this, what are you going to do? Have something small that's going to drift down? It's just going to be kind of impractically small. So anyway, there's that. Here's the other half of it. You can really see that the issue that was happening, and that's a clay body issue. Um, oh, that's not the name of the book, Luna? Okay. Um, so that's something we could do with that piece if we wanted to with some remaining clay. We could even use that clay, fuse that one in, make ourselves a little hanging planter. I mean, this one could even be a hanging planter too. It has that hole in it. I don't know if that's an issue or not. I actually kind of like the issue with the hole. Maybe we'll make two little these are going to hold literally nothing. I mean, literally nothing. But that's okay. Maybe that's something we'll think about. Um, okay. Right, Annie? All right. Bye, Luna. Have fun. Say hi in German for me. You know what would work is like a little succulent or um, a string of pearls, or what's another good plant? Maybe a vining ficus, something like that. What small plants do I have? I don't really like small plants. I used to have thousands of plants all the time in small little things, and it's just such a pain to water and deal with everything. Um, so it's something I don't really want to live with anymore, but I'm sure someone else wouldn't mind and make a good little gift. Yeah, we'll use the remaining clay and do that. It's something that people have been asking for me to do for quite a long time, and I just haven't wanted to. The planters always shrink more than I want them to every single time, and so they become almost an impracticality, and I just don't. It's just I don't want to live with it, like I said. But 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 someone who lives in the city, um, oh, actually, you know, it'd be great in it. Oh, there are these little baby orchids that I've seen at this orchid place nearby that I think actually would be pretty spectacular inside that. And they're small and they don't get big. The problem is that those particular orchids are like 175 bucks. Um, and I don't know if I really want to drop 175 bucks on a baby orchid. I already have what? I think I have like 7 or 8 orchids currently. I think those are the ones that have survived over the years. Gotcha. I love plants. Abby, this is your first time here, right? In any of my streams? Or am I being forgetful right now? Okay, so I have a subtropical greenhouse. It has grapefruits, oranges, kumquats, loquats, Valencia clementines, uh, and then a bunch of camellias and all those things. So I have that. Um, and then I also have about, I'd say like probably 60 plants in my apartment itself, from kumquats to Hoya, uh, different varieties of orchids, um, monstera. I got a lot of plants. Uh, and so like there's a lot of plant-based stuff going on in my life. And so it's like when I have to think about new plants, it's kind of hard to because I don't have room. Um, now, I want to do, we might do another Raku firing today. I forgot about this. So I made this giant sculpture the other day, like 2 years ago, and it's been sitting doing nothing. And I want to Raku fire it if it fits in the kiln. That's a big if. I never did it because I couldn't figure out how to actually take it out of the kiln without burning myself. But I think I want to do it soon because, so all my fish died yesterday, as some of you guys know, which was sad. One shrimp has survived and one snail. And so I was going to move, um, it's okay. It was hard. It was really heartbreaking. It was my 8-year-old Pictus catfish. Um, I had a spike, electrical spike, and it destroyed my water filtration stuff. And by the time I got a new filter and everything, he had passed. So anyway, I have that space that I could downsize to a 5-gallon tank for my shrimp and my snail, and then I'd have this blank area in my apartment. And I'm like, this sculpture could be really cool right there where the fish tank was. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I like the idea of a really small tank too. I've lived with so many fish tanks over the years. Um, I don't think I need. It's not the one I have right now for this one. I downsized the one 10-gallon tank. Um, but I used to have like multiple, like 50-gallon tanks and 100-gallon tank and some other tanks here and there, and really like fish. Speaking of fish, I'm going all over the place right now. Um, Fishing season is still closed, so I fish for Olive, and I go and fish for her dinner. I don't eat meat, but I do fish for her food because I want to be a part of the process. And fish is the only one that I'm willing to take the life of, even though it's still hard and makes me cry all the time. Um, I want to be a part of the process, not just like buy meat for her because she needs it um, without any emotional connection to it. So um, fishing season is still like closed for keeping. So I bought her a bunch of tilapia and coho salmon. So she's getting a big slab of coho salmon tonight. Guppies are great. How are you, Raven? Guppies were one of my first fish too. My first ever aquatic animal was an orange crawfish named Papa. But guppies were my next. Um, Wait, was it guppies or something with a D? I can't remember. That was a long time ago. It's a lot of maintenance, you know. They stock the golden trout. Are they golden or are they palmino trout? Not that it makes any difference, but out of curiosity, I would love to catch one. Joyce, where are you again? I want to come. I want to come fish for one. Yeah, and it's not even necessarily about the untrustworthy thing for me, Abby. It's about just being like emotionally connected to like I I am in one of those like that's not weird belief system, but I like if I think that if you eat meat and you go and buy meat at a grocery store, once a year you have to raise and kill the animal that you are buying, and that then gives you accessibility to just go purchase its flesh from a store. So you can um, like so you have to have some kind of like respect and emotional connection to uh, the animal in some degree, even if it's not that particular animal that you're consuming. And so it kind of just that's kind of how I feel about Olive's food. I just want to be emotionally connected in that context because her kibble is also a fish-based kibble, I believe. For some reason, I'm blanking on what it is right now, but anyway, no, Raven, no, why? You said why, but hopefully soon. Gotcha, Joyce. Okay, Cranberry Wilderness. I will 100% be thinking that out. That 100% makes sense to me. And I always like to clarify things. If you want to eat meat, I think you should. I just think you should be a part of the process too. Because I'm not, it's like, I think anybody should eat anything that makes them feel good. Um, but lacking a respect for what you're consuming is, I don't know, just it's tough. I do know. It's tough for me to watch. It's tough. I just don't know how people emotionally necessarily consume. But I do know because they just ignore. You don't have to think about it. But yeah, no, that sounds tough, Abby. I also think this philosophy for gardening too, for veggies and all that. I think it's important to grow your own veggies as well. At least not all the time, not every single veggie you need to grow, but just be understanding of the process and the amount of labor that goes involved and how much water it's being consumed and how much time and effort you're putting in and watching things grow. I think is an appreciation again onto that. Speaking of which, we've had such mild winters. Even this winter wasn't that bad. I know we had some colder days. My parsley's already up. Isn't that crazy? Last year, I had parsley all throughout the winter. This year, I have my parsley's already like 4 inches tall out in my garden from last year. I bet. I've only been to a few coffee places. They seem pretty cool. The ones I've been to. I think the last one was in Peru a couple of years ago. Apparently, Raven. I know. It's so tasty too. I'm happy that I don't have that. Wait, is it parsley or cilantro that people have the issue with? Either way, I'm glad that they both taste good to me. Ah, is parsley bad for cats? Poor husband. It's so good. That's such a shame. That's fine by me though. More for me, you know? Gotcha. Good. At least it's a safe thing if you do try to grow it. Where are you from, Abby? Gotcha. Nice. Good, Raven. Virginia. I feel like there's a potter in Virginia that went and took a workshop with. Was that Virginia? Having kind of a blank space out. Oh, I went too far. You see the little nubbin in the bottom? Pushed too far up, but whatever. No one needs to know. All right, 2 more of these cups, and then we're gonna trim our plates, and then that's gonna be it for me today. Unless we decide to come back later and I might throw some other stuff, but I think that'll be it until we do our live stream tonight at midnight. You're allergic? What happens? What kind of allergy do you have to it? It's interesting just thinking of allergies. Um, I've been having to carry more and more EpiPens over the years for the kids at Montessori that I teach. I I don't remember ever really having to carry an EpiPen up until, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and now it's like every class I teach, I'm carrying like 5 different EpiPens. I guess people are just getting tested more regularly, and then they were just really lucky before. I don't know. Ah, dang, I'm sorry. Well, at least there's other yummy things out there, but that still sucks. Doesn't make it any easier to not be able to eat it. I see so many people use like a little nubbin thing that they put on top that spins. And there's so many like unnecessary tools in pottery. You can just use your finger. It's uh it's just a technique. You just gotta learn like anything else. But it's just interesting that everybody just immediately relies on tools. You never know, it's possible. Allergies are weird. An ex of mine was allergic to, or is, I assume she's still allergic to all these things: eggs, sesame, all nuts except hazelnuts and almonds, uh, and then some other stuff. And it was like, I pretty much didn't, for the 5.5 years we were together, I didn't eat nuts. And I forgot how much I loved hummus until after we broke up. And now I just like consume too much hummus, honestly. I remember like in the first like year and a half, she EpiPenned so many times. It was crazy. Actually, I remember the first like month we were dating, she got hospitalized for going to anaphylactic shock for eating a granola bar that had a walnut in it. Scary. All right, let's trim these plates. Or we'll see. I don't know if we can or not. Yeah, yeah, close enough. Let's just give it a whirl. Yeah, agreed. Come on, buddy. Come on. Because I don't need to tap that. There's nothing there. Yeah. I remember this one time we went to just a grocery store, and they had mislabeled tahini for tamari. They So they wrote it as tamari, and she immediately had to EpiPen. Um, that was scary. That happened twice at that different things at that place. The first time they gave her a gift card for the amount of an EpiPen, which was nice. The second time they didn't do anything. This is pretty soft still. Oh, dang, that's a bummer. I'm glad she can eat tomatoes. Some tomatoes. Which tomatoes can she not eat? Are there specific varieties that, like, are heirloom tomatoes worse for some reason, or like what's the what works and what doesn't? I see, I see, I see. Tomatoes are one of my favorite things. I'd be heartbroken not to be able to consume them anymore. Deep into summer, when like hardcore tomato season, I pretty much that's all I eat is tomatoes and balsamic vinegar. So plates are one of those things that I like to be on the heavier side. If you were electric firing them, who cares? But for atmospheric firing, you need them to be a little thicker to withstand the heat and the potential sag. You know, can't go wrong with just like a single sun gold. You know. Yeah, I mean those are the best tomatoes. Store-bought tomatoes off season are kind of like whatever. I mean, I eat a lot of things seasonally. Like my fruit, I mainly eat seasonally. So like right now, it's getting to the end of it, but it's citrus season. Um, Watermelon season is coming up soon. Cannot wait. And I eat like an entire watermelon every single day during watermelon season. I just cut them in half and I eat a spoon, take a spoon to it. Half for breakfast, half for dinner. Okay, cool. I think that's it for this guy. We're not gonna take it off of this because it's going to warp. I'm not going to sign it at the moment because it's going to messed up. But there's the bottom side of our plate at the moment. I need somewhere to put this though. I'm running out of room in my studio because it's now getting clustered with to finished work and non-finished work, which is something I don't really like to do, but it is what it is. I can't do much about that. I used to have, when I used to eat cheese, I had someone who would make local mozzarella, and I also used to work on an organic tomato farm, and so I would get like really good mozzarella and tomatoes, and just like that was it. So good, so good. Oh yeah. Wait, black pepper on cantaloupe? Fascinating. I'll give that a try. I'll give it a whirl. I don't generally like to taint my fruit with anything else, but I'm always willing to try something new. Um, this one's too soft. It's moving too much. So I think that's going to be it. We've done everything we can. Um, why don't I take you guys to go look at the little kiln real quick? So you're going to get a little wobbly. You might lose connection. If you do, you do. If you don't, awesome. All right, let's walk outside. Oh God, stuck. Okay. So here's my little kiln room. I have all my electric kiln supplies and just crud everywhere. Again, if someone needs a ton of clay, I got like boxes and boxes of clay I don't want. So here are my little kilns. I have a bigger electric kiln for actually glaze firing, and then I have a little electric kiln for bisque work. And so at the moment we are at 238 degrees. So that's too hot for me to want to open it up fully, but I will open it up so you can actually look inside real quick. But just a really quick peek. But you see all that heat coming out. I don't want to keep that open for too long, so I'm not going to keep messing with that. But since I have you guys in here, here are some of the double walled pieces that we need to clean soon. So here's one. Um, this is a student piece. She was making mugs the other day. I think she's going to be pretty happy. Olive, stay here, please. Thank you. She's going to be happy with her mug. Um, and then I have a bunch of little bisqued teapot pendants. You can see all the little teapots right there. And then yeah, this this room is just an absolute cluster mess of just like uh, pieces that are glazed that I don't really like, but they are there. So if I need to like throw something into the kiln, I can just grab something. These are all like dry goods, like giant bundles of dry goods. Clearly, this is also like a bit of a storage room. This is a I have not been in here since winter, so because I have like a little bench grinder and I do some woodworking, but all this is dry, but all under everything is all dry goods. It's just like hundreds and hundreds of pounds of different materials. And yeah, that's about it. And here, since we're outside, these are the cryptomeria. So this is the hardwood or the Japanese cedar tree. Um, so, which is pretty cool. It has some cool stuff to it. And it's just a beautiful day. Look how beautiful it is today. Gorgeous out. Olive oil. All right, let's get back into this cold apartment or warm apartment, I guess. Um, anyway, Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think the tumbler came out kind of cool. And so I guess here's what we made. We just trimmed, and as you can see, we're working on that next. And I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna let this set up for an hour or two. And the so here's the thing: is that yes, I like the idea of turning this into a wall hanging planter right now. These are too dry. Um, if it was stoneware, I'd do it. These are porcelain, and they're just gonna not adhere. So there's no point. We can make them intentionally later, and I would love to do that. So maybe that's gonna be one of our next streams. Um, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys either later today. We'll throw something, or I'll see you at midnight. Okay, bye.